Hey now, Dad Brow coming back at you. Episode 4 of Solo Battles Breakdown. We get into the defense ebook style. Finally, we've got next gen footage. We've got current gen. We show you how we break it down and get into the top 100 from these defensive looks. Don't go anywhere.
Daddy, are you here?
All right, defensive breakdowns here. Before we start, I gotta say thanks for all the engagement, all the comments. We thought 5 people might ever watch these videos, so the reactions we're seeing already, it's awesome. Thank you. It does take us some time. We're not professional tubers. This is a side gig, and I'd never done anything like this before 2 weeks ago, so thanks. We are having a lot of fun. Before we get into the breakdown, though, next gen versus current gen, big difference on defense, especially in solo battles. Next gen, your user's not as fast. It's not that arcadey, quick movement and style, not as agile, so it's hard. It's harder. So you're gonna have to do some tricky things to limit the possessions, limit how many yardage opportunities the CPU has, and you can give up as many points as you want. And the current gen, a lot different. Our users, awesome. They can get almost anywhere on the field. So we're gonna break it down from the punt block formation first, then we'll get into mid blitz. So here we go. Okay, so current gen defense. It's pretty easy if you just come out in the squeeze block formation and audible into the punt safe man. Some people drop back into coverage. I like to blitz, so we'll break that down for you right now. First thing you're going to have to do, though, get your substitutions set up properly. We want the right pass rushers, we want the right coverage people, and we absolutely need to make sure our user gets subbed in as the return man in this formation. All the substitutions need to be made in the squeeze block, and we're going to audible to the punt safe man every time. So when we come out in squeeze block, you can see the offense is going to audible into something different 95% of the time. And once you see them audible, you're going to audible into the punt safe man. Continue to bring your user down and keep them in motion. This is an overview shot of what your line looks like after you've audibled into the punt safe man. It's just a man-to-man coverage, and it's pretty effective, especially with the user coming down. But make sure you got your right coverage people. Now, once you see the quarterback hike the ball, you're going to be able to come through this line. You're going to have to loop sometimes around the offensive lineman, around a tight end, around a running back sometimes. But this is instant pressure. Tons of user sacks, tons of user big hits, opportunities to generate fumbles. You can also, after the ball is hiked, drop back in coverage if you want. I do that closer to the red zone. You'll see a clip in here of that, but you do have to keep your user in motion. If you stop moving the user and they hike the ball, they get frozen at the line. There is a clip later on of it. And if you don't loop around far enough, you can get picked up and you won't generate any pressure at all. But lots of clips, lots of different offensive looks here. Sometimes you don't get there soon enough, but you still get that incompletion. We want to get less than 50% completion against the opponent. At least that's what I've theorized or what I've seen posted. So, and other guys are going to get through and get pressure right here, like you saw if you drop back in coverage. But for the most part, I'm trying to get sacks at first. Here's closer to the red zone. I probably try to bait the running back here, or I'm trying to get the quarterback to throw to the halfback here so I can get an interception. I think somebody else gets through for some pressure. Yep. So sometimes that's going to happen. Your line's going to automatically get the sacks, but I would have preferred a pass there because I could have picked it off. Here's where I get frozen, I'm pretty sure. Yep, stop moving right here, and you see what happens. So you immediately need to click on to somebody else and pray somebody else from your line gets through. So it's not a perfect defense at all. You have to stay active, and you have to understand if you've got 3 receivers on the left, the look's going to look like this. If you've got a balanced offensive set, it might look like this. And once again, just like the offensive ebook, once you get more reps running this, you'll understand what you need to do. Here I get picked up by the halfback, and you're probably going to have a sad incompletion or something go wrong. But once again, more reps, more reps, more reps. Key points, you have to audible after the offensive has audibled themselves. Keep your user moving, especially when the quarterback hikes the ball. And once you get down in the red zone, don't run this defense a whole lot. Inside the 20, never run it. Inside the 2-minute warning, I never run it. And fourth quarter, I never run it. But the rest of the game, this defense is great, especially once you've mastered the timing. And if you have a speedy user that hits hard, it's a lot of fun. All right, there's a ton of different ways, a ton of different people will play this style defense. I like to blitz the user, and I rely on generating my interceptions with my user, run all over the field. It's just a little bit more fun that way. I will tell you, one of the main strategies is just user the cornerback on the right side of the field Before they snap the ball, you drop them back and you bait the quarterback into throwing the ball there and you pick it off. So that's an easy way to generate interceptions. I just have more fun with my user. Anyways, moving into some of the next gen ways that we can generate the same kind of top 100 results: mid blitz, 2-4-5, double A gap, mid blitz, 2 inside stuffs, 5 people short route KO. Definitely on next gen, we're thinking about pick artists, probably some acrobats. So the abilities might be a little bit different, but check it out. All right, so defense here, we're coming out the nickel 2-4-5 double A gap. There's a bunch of different playbooks that have it. I know there's a 1-5-5. I've never used it, but I want the 2-4-5 to make sure we got the 2 inside stuffs. So kicking this off right here, first thing, same thing. Make sure we've got all the right substitutions. Make sure we have our ability people where we want them. I like the 2-4-5 because if you look where the 2 D tackles are, the inside stuff, if you get in these goal line situations, especially on next gen, you're gonna play field positioning on next gen. It's nice to be able to stop the run with 2 inside stuffs right there. But pretty similar to what we like to do is generate a lot of pressure. You definitely want to press immediately, whether you're out in the middle of the field or whether you're right here on the red zone. You want to press, and we like to bring our safeties up almost a line of scrimmage or right in people's faces. And you'll see with the short route KO abilities mixed with a great user, you can generate your interceptions, your pass breakups, and sacks all from this formation. I know a lot of these clips are current gen. It's hard to capture our next gen right now, but there's a lot of different things that you can do out of mid blitz once you get familiar and more comfortable with it. But once again, just like the other formation, you're going to have an effective user. You're going to have to play your behind off in next gen or against an opponent that just can move the ball on you easily. I would jump off sides and bring them up to the goal line all the time. Doesn't matter. Keep jumping off sides. Bring them up to the goal line. If you generate a tackle for loss or a sack here, and you get to bank those yards, because as soon as you generate, there we go, there's -8 yards, and then we can jump off sides 2, 3, 4 more times to put them back up, and we just bank that negative yardage, especially on next gen. It's really hard on next gen, but effective in the middle of the field, effective in the red zone. We run this strictly in a 2-minute warning situation and the fourth quarter situation. We like to limit the field position. And here we go. Then drop pick there. Ouch. Great coverage, but you can see you can drop back in coverage. We like to try to bait the QB in making bad passes. And if you do have a couple short completions like we show here, you can always just jump off sides, because if you put the defense or offense in a situation where it's 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 2, it's really dangerous where they could gain those first downs. We don't want the CPU to get any first downs. So, and like right here, we probably should have jumped off sides and not let that first down, but the inside stuff you saw activates. We put the user right above the center almost every time when we're right on the goal line. Make sure you keep pressing, bringing those safeties up. I think right here, we just 4 plays in a row. We shut them down. I think I want to show you, there's stats at the end of this to show you each and every drive you could generate this kind of negative yardage just by jumping off sides, bringing the CPU opponent down to the red zone, down to the end zone, preventing the first downs. And especially on next gen, it's so tough. Your user is not as skilled and easy to use as it is on current gen, so you do have to work a lot harder. But either way, this defense mixed with the other defense, and when you play it in the quarters that we're recommending you play it, and the way that we're recommending you play it, this is an easy way to get top 100. All right, here is some next gen footage of mid blitz. Here it is on the goal line. Like I said, I would play a lot of field position on next gen, jump off sides, make sure they can't get a first down. So make sure their drives are starting within the 10. And then every time I'm generating a tackle for loss or a sack, probably jumping off sides again to bring them down to the 1 or 2 so I can keep banking that yardage as negative yardage. They might score a lot of points on next gen on you. It might be difficult to generate the sacks and the turnovers, but you can limit their yardage to negative and the first downs. Here it is out in the middle of the field. It's way riskier, but your user play can be really good. I think I got hung up on somebody here, but I wanted to show you this inside stuff. It's really effective, really effective. And then I wanted to show you an entire drive of what squeeze block, audibling into pump block looks like. Not to say you can't do it. You can. You just can't generate the pressure. If you are going up against a really slow quarterback that's not going to escape the pocket, maybe. But I've had a lot of time generating the pressure on next gen that you can on current gen. You can still stop the CPU, but you can see like that was an easy completion for them. And then we just basically have to get real lucky here, or real good at stopping short yardage throws, making sure our user knows what's the first read, or are we trying to generate pressure. It's a little bit harder to predict, but I've seen people be effective with it or have told me it still works. They just have to change up who they're using. There's a lot of CB using instead of having somebody in the middle of the field trying to generate pressure. And then here's an onside kick. My goal on onside kick is purely I just want to hit stick somebody and generate a fumble. So the way you set up your depth chart, I've got Isaiah Simmons here. He's big, he's fast, he hits hard. I'm trying to kick it to somebody that he's going to be able to hit. Now, we don't get a great hit on here, but this is the goal every onside kick. And I think I have one where I'm trying to recover it, or I think maybe I accidentally recovered it. They'll show you here. But onside kick every single time, limit field position, limit field position. If you gain an extra possession because you recovered it, cool. It's not really the goal. But user hit sticks, user big hits, user generated hit stick fumbles, big bonus points. So as many touchdowns as we're scoring, we might as well get half a dozen cracks at lighting somebody's skull up and putting that ball on the floor. All right, so as you can see, next gen, current gen, big difference for all the next gen warriors out there. The solo battles, your battle score every game is going to be lower since it is a trickier defense to try and generate those sacks, generate those interceptions, fumbles, things of that nature. But practice makes perfect. That Gridiron Forge, that last game, it's such a good simulation of solo battles. Practice the offense. Practice the defense, practice usering and getting all over the field to try and get your battle scores up, and let's get top 100. So I know there's a lot between episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4, but if you follow the guide so far, you should have a pretty good understanding of where we're going with this. We want to upload some live solo battles, but I think we need one more episode to break down game management, quarters, and a few other ins and outs on how we can literally maximize our score. So thanks for tuning in once again. If you like what you see, you know what to do. If you got questions about your team, our team, solo battles, hit us up on Twitter at DadBrowGaming. Thanks for all the comments so far. If you've got some suggestions for us or some tips for other people that might be watching this video for the first time, put them in the comments below. This has been so much fun so far. Until next time, goodbye. All right, if you've been in weekend league, head-to-head, or heck, even house rules, and you've had a desync occur where the game is just wiped out, most of the time that's somebody using an exploit. So if you go to EA, you can actually report them. Make sure you clip it. Look at the desync reporting tool here on Answers HQ. When you look up the reporting tool, you fill out all this information, you upload the clip, and let's get these parasites out of the game. Okay?
Daddy, are you here?